Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through all the noise and really give you the important nuggets from the sources you care about. Today, June 17th, 2025, we're aiming to get you fully informed on the key insights without, that feeling of overload.
Absolutely. We're going to connect some dots today, looking at everything from, say, global diplomacy, all the way to domestic policy shifts, and even some surprising economic moves. It's about seeing how these things link up and what they mean for you.
Okay, let's dive right in then. Global geopolitics first. The G7 summit up in Canada. Former President Trump made some, pretty notable comments there.
He did. The call for Russia to rejoin the G8 specifically.
Yeah, he said its expulsion back in 2014 was, quote, a mistake.
Right.
And also interesting, he left the summit early, seemed linked to rising tensions between Israel and Iran.
Well, the Russia comment alone really stirred things up. It's not just controversial in a vacuum, it touches on the whole foundation of that group, especially right now. Remember, kicking Russia out wasn't just a slap on the wrist.
No, it was a big statement,
A huge statement about shared values, democratic principles, territorial integrity, things like that. So suggesting re-entry now, it really questions the unity of the G7, potentially emboldens adversaries, and, forces allies to rethink things. It highlights a real fault line.
That's a great point about unity.
Okay,
let's pivot from the global stage to things happening much closer to home. Domestic policy, public response. We saw some pretty aggressive ICE operations in Los Angeles recently, which then led to significant protests and the National Guard being deployed.
Yeah, after some of those protests turned violent.
Right.
And looking at the facts reported, this isn't just an LA story, is it? You're seeing similar kinds of crackdowns, or at least echoes of them, in other cities, too.
So a national trend.
It seems to point towards a broader strategy, yeah. And it really brings up questions about enforcement, public reaction, and that whole dynamic. It feels like a critical moment in how policy meets the street, basically.
And, speaking of powerful brands influencing things, we saw a really surprising move. Politics intersecting with commerce in a new way. I'm talking about the launch of Trump Mobile.
Ah, yes, the phone service.
Yeah, debuted with a $499 phone?
That's right, and a $47.45 monthly plan, unlimited.
So in a market absolutely saturated with phone plans, what's the angle here? What makes this stand out?
Well, it's more than just another mobile plan, isn't it? It's kind of a fascinating blend, or maybe a blurring between a political identity and a consumer product. It makes you think about data privacy, for instance.
Right. If your phone carrier is tied to a specific political brand.
Exactly. And more broadly, are we sort of entering a phase where who you buy from is becoming another way to express your political affiliation?
Instead of just picking the best deal or service?
Potentially, yeah. It's a real test of how far that kind of brand loyalty can stretch into totally new areas. Quite something to watch.
It's definitely a shift. Okay, let's talk economy now. Your money.
The Federal Reserve had its June meeting, and the general expectation is that they're holding interest rates steady.
That seems to be the consensus, yes. And there are a couple of main reasons driving that expectation. First, inflation seems to be easing off a bit from those really high peaks we saw. Maybe suggests a softer landing for the economy.
Okay, that's one factor.
And second, job growth has been pretty consistent. Stable. Not too hot, not too cold,
So things are calming down a bit, maybe.
That seems to be the Fed's reading, or at least the hope. And connecting this back to you, the listener, these said decisions, even holding steady, they matter directly. We're talking about the interest rates on your loans.
Like mortgages, car payments, that kind of thing.
Precisely. And also what you might earn on your savings. So understanding why they make these moves, the factors involved, it's pretty crucial for managing your own finances in, this economic climate. Absolutely. So quite a range we've covered today, haven't we? From G7 dynamics and Trump's comments to ICE operations on the ground here. Then this surprising Trump mobile launch, and finally what the Fed's doing with interest rates. It really shows how interconnected everything is. Global events, domestic policy, even your phone plan and your wallet. Hopefully this deep dive helped cut through it all for you.
Yeah, and maybe leaves you with this thought. In a world where headlines jump from international summits one minute to personal mobile plans the next, what does it really mean for you to be truly informed? And how do you prepare for a world where, frankly, any piece of news might have these unexpected ripple effects right into your daily life?